Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 22nd ever episode of Press A2 Podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Hujik, and with me today is Taylor Severn.
Hello.
And Scott McPherson.
I'm only half here. I'm the circle.
The infinite circle of
I'm a
Siege
voice
knowledge.
with no face.
Because today we're going to be talking about Rainbow Six Siege, new game, well, fairly new game by Ubisoft.
Almost topical.
We're getting so close. We're so close to being relevant. I've been hearing a lot about this game. I was watching some streams of it. It seemed super fun. I managed to get my hands on it. It seemed even more fun, so we decided to do a podcast on it. We are missing one of our members today. Brandon Williams is gone.
Rip.
He might show up later today, but
He's dead. He actually died.
Okay, well then, in that case, that's unfortunate.
Our heart goes out to him and his family.
That's awful. But yeah,
And hopefully his
Eventually
ghost
shows
will
up.
join us later.
Yeah,
potentially,
hopefully.
yeah. That
Spooky
would be
ghost.
nice. I think that
He'll
would
haunt the
be really
podcast.
nice. But why don't we start with talking about our experiences with the game? Scott, I'll start with you.
Just like Siege.
You could talk about the franchise in general if you like.
Well, I feel like I should just because like I feel like there's some redemption that needs to happen from some of the other ones. My first experience with one of the Rainbow Six games was Rainbow Six Vegas 2. You know.
It's a while back.
Yeah. And
It's
you
not.
know.
It's like what, 2008?
Is it? I thought it was earlier than that. Anyway, I can't remember. I don't know. It was the time it came out. Played it only because one day I think I went over to Brandon's house and we played through the entire campaign in one day.
Yep, that sounds like you guys.
Yeah. So much fun. Loved it. Never really got them myself though because they're kind of just games that kind of just floated off my radar and I forgot about them. And then I seen a whole bunch of gameplay of them online and stuff like that, of the terrorist hunt mode, and it's just I was like, oh, this looks awesome, so much fun. So when Siege came out, I waited for it to go on sale, and then I bought it because it's not worth $90. Sorry, but
$90? What?
Well, it's $80 plus tax, right? So
$80 for a season pass?
No, that's just how much the games are now.
Wow.
Yeah,
I haven't bought a console game in forever.
Well, even PC games, they're $80.
titles.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Well,
the
AAA
last
titles.
couple PC games I've got were
Like XCOM 2.
Right.
XCOM 2 for PC is $80.
Anyways, continue.
So yeah, I got Siege. I have played a lot of Terrorist Hunt. Level 52, only playing Terrorist Hunt. I played one game of multiplayer. It's just, I don't know, it's just so much that it never gets old, because there's 4 different types, because they've changed it from the old modern versions where it's just clear building of all the enemies. There is 4 different kinds of Terrorist Hunt now. There's Terrorist Hunt Classic, which is just kill all the people. There's Extract Hostage, which, that sounds pretty self-explanatory. There's Protect Hostage, which is also self-explanatory. And then there's Disarm Bomb, where there's 2 bombs that you have to disarm. You're timed, depending on the difficulty, you're timed. Or you're not timed if you're playing on the easy difficulty.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was, and there's 20 different operators to choose from, and they all have their own unique.
I heard that there was DLC recently that added some Canadian operators
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah,
stealing
and
the
one-
joke
one
from.
One uses bear traps. The defender uses bear traps.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and the Canadian guy's name is Buck, and he has a shotgun attachment on the
Okay.
bottom of his gun.
Listen, it should have been a girl, the Canadian, and she should have
The
been named-
girl defender. The girl defender.
Oh,
the
girl's
the
a defender?
defender's a girl
Oh, the
with
defender's a
bear
girl?
traps.
Okay, well, her name should have been Maple. I'm completely stealing that
Her name
from
is
someone
Frost.
else, but that's not bad. But Maple would have been pretty good. Maple would have been better.
It's true.
Okay, so you've been playing a lot of Siege.
Oh yeah. That's probably the game that has been the majority of my console right now.
Wow.
Until the 23rd, when Garden Warfare 2 comes out, then that's it. I'm sorry.
Garden Warfare.
Destiny's dead.
Garden Warfare 2. Oh, I don't give a fuck about Destiny. I can't play it. It's early. I don't care anymore. It's
You
done.
still can't play.
Nope.
Anyways. Okay, so
I'm over it.
So Taylor, what about you? Do you have any experience with Siege?
I have no real experience with Siege. I've seen a few videos online. I've had a bit of experience with the franchise, specifically, um, Las Vegas 2 or New
Rainbow
Vegas,
Six Vegas too.
whatever. Anyways, I actually have the entire previous franchise on Steam, but I've only played Vegas 2.
Probably the
It's
best
because,
one.
yeah, it's because that was a game my friend got free with his 360, and so we played it because it had co-op, split screen, and we just had a blast playing it was just a really fun co-op game to play. And we eventually got it on PC so that we could play more than 2 players with our friends. And I really enjoyed the tactical shooter esqueness of it because like the other games at the time that I was playing that were shooters were like Modern Warfare 2,
Yeah.
which nothing tactical about Modern
I mean,
Warfare
like
2.
it's not even the first Modern Warfare had a little bit more tactics than the second one. The second one just got crazy.
Hey,
getting-
Call of
not
Duty
kills-
4, best Call of Duty ever.
I don't know, Big Red one. That's
I played that one actually. Actually, I played all the Call of Duties and some of the old World War II ones were really good, especially the story modes. Like was it the
yeah.
first one where you started off as a Russian? Whew, it's cool.
We'll touch on story modes later in the podcast.
Yes, that is
I
true. So yeah, Taylor, so you have
will
had some
we?
experience with the franchise at the very least. I myself, I played one of the original Rainbow Sixes way back, and I tried playing it with a joystick. I don't know why. I was very young, and joysticks were cool at the time. Are we streaming still? Is something down? Anyways,
think it's fine.
So yeah, I played one of the original ones, and I played a bit of Vegas, very very tiny bit. I actually got it for Christmas one year, and I traded in for Company of Heroes.
Wow, what a
Hey.
dick.
But I kept seeing a lot of Siege on stream. People were talking about it, how it was underrated and flying under everyone's radar, and then it started getting more and more popularity. And Brandon came over and like, hey, I have it, so I played some on console, unfortunately, and I suck at console games. But
Unfortunately, go fuck yourself, Jacob.
consoles are the worst.
Consoles are okay.
They're all right. I'm being hyperbolic.
They're the cheap alternative to PC.
To
Fair
the
enough.
awesome PC, yes. No, I'm primarily a PC gamer, and I haven't tried Siege on PC yet. But from what I played on the console, it was very, very fun. I
And he
enjoyed it
probably
immensely.
won't ever try it on PC. Just to throw that out there.
So I was thinking we could get into our first topic. I don't have any of my bumpers ready. Fuck. Oh well. Well, I could just do them with my mouth. Stay a while and listen. The first one will be story. And this will be fairly quick for this because there isn't much of a story in Rainbow Six Siege.
There isn't a story in Rainbow Six Siege.
There is a bit of a solo player-ness, but there is no
Yes.
story. So I wanted to talk about
Fair enough.
whether this affects your experience with the game. I know a lot of people, especially on the internet, it's just like, "Oh my God, there's no single player. GG, game over. Don't buy. Cancel pre-orders."
People on the internet are stupid.
Yes,
but
that is true. But I wanted to ask: is there any merit to that? Like, there not being a story mode or any really significant? I mean, there is a single player. You can play the game single player, but the lack of a story
yeah.
specifically does that bother you, Scott?
So at first I thought it was going to because I'm really big on like story mode and stuff like that. Like that's probably the main reason I buy any kind of game.
You like playing with yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, by yourself.
Yes. But I gotta be honest. Once I got into pretty much immediately, the first time I sat down and played Terrorist Hunt, I'm just like I don't even care anymore. Like it was just like so smooth and I mean like granted compared to other shooters it is still a little bit choppy and like like the movement is a little bit blocky and stuff like that, but like I mean it feels so well planned out like there and even the multiplayer like from what I tried out like the one game that I played I've also watched gameplay of the multiplayer, but it's so much fun. Like as it being a shooter, it's such a different take on like shooter multiplayer
Yeah.
because it's like attack defend.
It does seem much more tactical than a lot of the other big AAA games, especially
Yeah.
the AAA games that are coming out right now. But speaking more about the story of the game, or
The lack thereof.
its lack of it and its impact on you. Do you think that any resources that would have gone into a potential single player would have detracted from the multiplayer? Are you actually happy then that it's only a multiplayer game?
You know what? Like after actually having sat down and played it a lot, I'm happy with what it is. I think if they would have tried to put a story into it, they probably wouldn't have put so much effort into Terrorist Hunt and multiplayer, and it probably wouldn't have turned out as well, because we all know how Ubisoft likes to do things.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of games that I can think of, actually, mostly Battlefront games. There was the Bad Company series. So I apologize.
Battlefield.
A little phlegmy today, but the Bad Company Battlefield series. They actually had, especially the second one, had some pretty decent campaign story in it. But besides that, the latest Battlefield 3 had a single player campaign. I think 4 went it entirely, but 3 had a campaign. No one ever really talked about it. It didn't seem to have any major impact. Whereas the Call of Duty series, still being a shooter, it's always had though short, a pretty solid single player to it, especially the Black Ops series. So it's kind of, it can kind of go both ways.
Yeah.
With a multiplayer focused game, whether it has a single player or not, because the resources have to go into it, the writing, the scenario building, and such. And I think Call of Duty does it best in that it's just short, just bombastic, lots of craziness happens, but
awesome.
Yeah, but it's not overbearing, because the multiplayer is the true focus of the game.
I will say, like, at least in Vegas 2, the story single player, like, it's not like that compelling anyways.
No.
It's you're going through the multiplayer maps pretty much, but there are some single player only campaigns, but like it's nothing special. It's just a distraction from the multiplayer if you get bored for 5 minutes.
Exactly. And that kind of, like, if it's just going to be, like you were saying, like multiplayer maps just repurposed as single player stuff, then you might as well not have spent the resources and put those resources either into the development of the multiplayer or just ignored it entirely. Alrighty, I think that's the general consensus. The game doesn't really need it. It's a solid multiplayer game. So why don't we get into the gameplay? I can't remember what the bumper for this one was, so I'll just try and make one up. Get over here! Gameplay.
We're gonna have to discuss about the bumpers.
Okay, listen. I had them planned. I had them ready last time we tried to do the podcast, and this time I forgot. I'm sorry.
But also, I didn't like them anyway, so
I
we
know.
need to discuss about the bumpers.
But you're a
gameplay, though.
Hard-nosed bastard. Gameplay. So this game, gameplay is where it's at. This game is super fucking fun. Scott, what aspect of the game really struck you when you started playing? I know you were touching on it briefly earlier.
Like game mode wise, like
not mode wise, but like when you started up the game, when you got into your first match, whether it was multiplayer or not, what made you go like, "Holy crap, this is cool"?
What gripped you?
The thing that kind of caught me so much was like the option to play as, like, have like so many different like kinds of characters, and they all just have guns or riot shields. But like for the most part, they do the same thing, but they all have like unique abilities, and like just to be able to like find one that kind of like suits or find a couple that like kind of suit your play style. Like whether it's run and gun, kind of like hang back and defend, or like, you know, like explode all the walls, because it's very destructible, the game.
Yeah, that's one of the most interesting mechanics with it. The fact that you can tear down the walls, and it's not just like, okay, you plan to charge in this specific area and that part of the wall is gone. No, like you can take a sledgehammer or even your gun and just take apart every single wall in a map.
Well, unless it's concrete or like stone or like.
Okay, most.
Yeah,
most
it has to be like a wood or like drywall.
Yeah.
Drywall. That's
Yeah, sorry. You can tear down most of the walls. And
most of them though, but yeah, it is most of them.
And that plays into some of the mechanical depth of the game
And the name of the game.
and the name of the game.
Siege.
But it plays into some of the depth of the game where certain character classes can reinforce those walls. And
Yep.
then certain attacking characters can tear
And
down
blow
those
up.
reinforced walls.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of verticality to the game as well. You can rappel up walls. You can bust through floors to get at the floors underneath. It's there's a lot of depth, not just in the up and down, but in how you interact with the game map, which is not uncommon, especially with the Battlefield series.
Yeah.
Has kind of introduced that, but it's never been quite this surgical. There's a pretty famous case of a player right now who had made like a tiny hole in the wall, had startled the enemies firing that shot, and every time he saw a pixel move through that hole, he shot and got a kill shot, and he got, I think, like 3 or 4 of them down like that. Like it's just so precise and surgical how you can interact with the environment, and that's one of the reasons why the game is so interesting. Was there any particular class that you really enjoyed, or another mechanic that really surprised you? And Taylor, you can chime in as well.
As far as a specific class, there isn't one specific class. I mean, I really enjoy a few different ones on the attacking and defending side, and I like to. I'm always one for variety. Like I have played as every character. But yeah, like I do have preferences, but I don't think there's like one that like I'm like I have to be him, or like he's like my favorite character.
Which I think is good. In lots of the multiplayer games that I play, they're usually either RTS or Dota stuff. But like, there's often a character that I'll get kind of stuck on. I'm like, I should just play this character because I'm the best at, and that's the one I'm interested in. And usually, if I get stuck on a character like that, it won't take me very long to go, you know what, I don't want to play this game anymore. But when there's a very diverse pool of characters and that I'm interested in, it's just refreshing. Like you get in there and go, oh, who will I be now? And you click this character, and it's like it's someone you're familiar with, but still enjoy because you haven't played them to death.
And they are all pretty balanced. Like there aren't a lot of characters that are just really like niche. There are a lot of characters that just will excel in any game. Doesn't really matter whether you're playing multiplayer or terrorist hunt or which mode you're playing. Like they'll excel regardless. Mm-hmm. Because they made their abilities like all like they made them specific, but they made them like relevant to the game types. Like there's a guy who throws like an EMP grenade that can like disable a whole bunch of nitrocell, or can disable like there's an enemy called the bomber, and he's pretty much a guy that's strapped with C4 that'll charge at you and explode, and he can disable his bomb vest.
Sounds pretty good.
There's a terrorist bomber in this game?
Yes, there is.
I didn't realize that, actually.
Yeah.
I knew that, Jacob. Step up your game.
Damn.
And like and like you're saying, there's people who can just like breach reinforced walls, and like almost every attacking character has the ability to breach walls with just like the charges, or there's like Sledge, who has the hammer. But then there's also characters like there's one who sets a grenade charge on the wall, and it shoots a cluster grenade through the wall to the other side, and it just like bounces all around in the room, just kills a bunch of people.
That's pretty cool.
So, but it is like you were saying, it's a very tactical game. Like the best idea, like one of my favorite things about it is like the little drones you can drive around.
Yes, that's something that I really, really enjoyed, because in attack defend games, there aren't too I mean, there's a few, but it's not a booming subgenre. And the problem with it is that like you need to give the attack or the defenders enough time to set up their defenses,
Yeah.
but it's tough to give the attacker something to do in the meantime. And I think that Siege handled it very, very well. You send out those little robot cars.
Mm-hmm.
You get to scope out. You get to actually see what the defense is doing. You can, if you're good with the RC cars and you hop at the right time, you can actually try and make them shoot each other. And you can start planning how you're going to get past their defenses as they're setting them up. I think it was super, super smart how they did it.
And you can also plant them in, like, once you're done driving them, you can like plant them in certain places of the area, and you can use them as a camera.
Yeah, you leave them there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can like tuck them in a corner and like keep like an eye on a room or something like that.
Yeah. Another thing that I noticed with the game is how quick the matches are. It's not it's not like half an hour to an hour long matches. They're about 15 minutes to 20 minutes, maybe
fair.
even less, which is, I think, super smart. As I've been getting older, I have less and less time for games in general, and I can't just sit there in one match for an hour. I would tend to gravitate more towards games that let me go through 2 to 3 matches within the space of an hour.
Right.
And this definitely fits into that category. And I've been seeing a trend in games going that route.
Yeah.
And personally, I've been enjoying it immensely. Was there
What
any
kind
other...
of progression system does it have? If any?
Well, I mean, so pretty much as far as level wise goes, it doesn't really matter. Like you just get level up based on experience. It's just like any other shooter where the more people you kill and the more times you win, you will level up faster.
And do you get like unlocks from levels, or
No.
What's the point to levels then?
There's an achievement for hitting clearance level 50.
I don't know. That means
Nailed it.
But no, mostly the levels doesn't play much of a role. What plays a role is the the in-game currency called renown, which you use to unlock the characters and unlock attachments for the guns and stuff like that, and unlock weapon skins.
There's multiple weapons for each character, right? Or is that only the
There
rookie?
can be. There can be.
But not every character.
Some of them only have one, but yeah. Some characters have up to 3 options for a weapon. And they're sometimes they're very different. One character has I think an assault rifle, a LMG, and a riot shield.
Quite the difference.
Yeah, quite very diverse. You got like long range, you got medium range spray and play, and you got like very conservative riot shield. But yeah, some of them like are like solely riot shield or solely whatever, right? But there are lots of attachments. They're very customizable. So like there's like 4 or 5 different sites that they're all equally good, but it's all personal preference, like which one you like the best.
So that begs the question: is that customization in the progression system in general, and like, does it keep you interested in the game, or is it just the mechanics themselves that are like, this is why I'm playing the game? It's not to unlock, the gold tiger skin for my gun.
No, funny that you say that. When you bought the game, you got a gold weapon skin pack that you can have all of your guns gold immediately, so you don't even need to worry about that. But the only kind of like progression is like the single player, like the tutorials, because once you pass all 10 tutorials, you unlock an 11th one that will matchmake you with random people. You can't go into it with anybody. It doesn't matter that it's matchmade. It will always matchmake you with random people. And you have to clear out this university, like the air is all like smog, like yellow, and like because there's some kind of like chemical in the air, so it's all like yellow and smoggy, and you can't see anything. And you're all in like hazmat suits, and like you're doing a disarm bomb ultimately, where you have to like, but what you get, like you get a a weapon skin for one of the characters by completing that mission. But other than that, there isn't really a progression system in the game. There's a ranked, or like a ranked, like there's two different kinds of multiplayer. There's ranked and there's casual. And I mean, depending on how well you do, like if you play the ranked, and depending on how well you do, you'll get put into gold, silver, or bronze. I don't know if there's anything else. I only know those three. It's the only three I've seen. And they'll match make you with people that are of that same rank or similar rank. Like they do their best to match make you like that.
Yeah, pretty typical for multiplayer games.
For ranked. Well, for ranked. I mean, kind of.
Does it do a good enough job matching you against similar skill levels?
Again,
or do you feel that?
Again, I've only played one game of online, and it was just a casual game just to kind of get a feel because I was by myself, and I didn't really want to go into ranked with a bunch of random people.
Yeah.
Because it does work like you said, it requires a lot of communication, and most of the people either don't use a mic or are little kids and suck at the game.
Shots fired.
Damn.
It's true. I mean, like so I've played with a lot of like squeakers, and it's just like, please leave. Just please leave.
I would describe that the in-game currency used to buy attachments and stuff, that is a progression system.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is. It definitely is. I don't know why I was going to try and interlude there, but yeah, I agree. It is a progression system in and of itself. But I mean, it's usually just to unlock the items.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
but you have access to everything right away. It's just, I mean, you just have to
earn
get
it.
renown. Yeah.
So another, the other side of this topic that I wanted to get into was some of the more negative aspects of the game.
What?
Yeah. So from what I understand, one of the bigger issues, at least when the game launched, was that it had netcode problems.
Still does.
Yeah, I was going to ask that because when it came out, there was lots of reports of you would be firing at a person and strafing, and then you'd be dead, and your body would be back a couple steps away because you had died earlier, but the game didn't catch up until a couple seconds later.
Oh, I haven't seen that. I just like seen people get dropped all the time.
Okay, and that might be something to do with their own latency and pings and stuff.
No, I mean, so sometimes I'll just sign into the game and like my Xbox, I'll look at my network settings, it'll say like open NAT, but in the game it'll say strict. And then I'll just restart the game and then it'll say open.
Interesting.
So that's definitely not me. It's the game.
Well, I feel that's like a running thing of the franchise, because in Vegas 2, I have a hard time getting into the multiplayer.
That might be for different reasons, unless this wasn't recently.
Oh yeah, no, you know. Well, like, yeah, it was recently, it's just probably different reasons. But it's, you know, part of the franchise now. They just have to code that into the game.
It's
make it
just,
hard to connect.
It's part of the
sometimes.
experience. The other thing that you also touched on already was the fact that this game requires so much communication in order to be effective at it. Like, I mean, you could just go in there and kind of stick with some people without any comms and kind of bumble your way through, especially if the opposing team. Yeah, especially if the opposing team doesn't have any sort of communication beyond the inbuilt systems. But if they do, if one team has TeamSpeak, even a couple players, and the other team doesn't, they're at a serious disadvantage. And sometimes getting a group of people like that to play a game that intense, where when you die, you're out for that round, be it 15 minutes or less, it's still you're like, you don't want to die. It's very stressful, and then it's very twitchy, and you're dead. To get enough people who are into that and want to play that and have the cognizance to do that after working or whatever is tough. So while
Why you go terrorist hunt?
yeah, and that's another aspect of the gameplay that I want to touch on. Maybe not negative, but we didn't get to it before. What exactly is the terrorist hunt? Because I'm not terribly familiar with it.
So I mean, like I was saying earlier, there's 4 different types.
There are enemy AIs. You kill them.
It's against an AI opponent.
From what I
you're
understand, it's basically like a wave horde mode.
That's one type. That's one type of it. There's just Terrorist Hunt Classic, which is just you have this many, depending on the difficulty, you have this many enemies to kill kill them before the
And
timer.
they're scattered throughout the map, and you have to systematically go through the map.
And they spawn in like as you kill them. They spawn in different places. Like they'll spawn in outside, or like they're not all already on the map. Like the second the game loads. So.
Okay. Interesting.
But like for like it's really cool because like for game types like the extract hostage, it's kind of easy to tell when you find the hostage room because the entire room is reinforced. There's barbed wire everywhere. There's usually four or five like enemies in the room. Like they make it really noticeable, but it's really locked down. But it's neat that they just adapted that for each different type. Like the disarm bomb ones, like the bombs are usually in rooms that are like heavily fortified, and
Yeah.
and there's lots of entrance points because then you have to sit in the bomb room and defend it for 45 seconds, and there's just unlimited enemies coming in there for 45 seconds.
Oh yeah, LMG all the way. Never stop holding the button.
And then you have to reload and you're dead because it takes 2 minutes.
You just need to get a bigger clip of an LMG.
Yeah, just
That's all.
it's
There is
wraps
no
around your waist,
extended
just-
mag, unfortunately. 101 bullets is what the LMG holds, and
Then you
it
can
is-
take out 101 guys.
No, that's
If
unfortunately
you line
not
them up
how-
right, you can take out more actually. Alrighty. So was there any last words you had on the gameplay aspects of the game? I mean, I want to just say like, from what I played, I was amazed at how fluid everything worked.
Yeah.
Besides the netcode issues,
Well-
rappelling up and down worked.
You can like flip upside down.
Yeah,
and,
like, and it was just like a click of a button, and it worked exactly how you thought it would work.
and there's lean around the corner, and like,
Yeah, and it all worked perfectly, and even like when you drop stuff on the floor, like when you put down barbed wire, or when you pick it up, or anything like that, or when you reinforce a wall, it's not like it doesn't look super comical, but it's very fast. It happens, and then when you like for example, like when you take the barbed wire, your guy just kind of goes like whoop, and he takes like this sprawling barbed wire mesh
Yeah.
in one motion, but like. It's quick, and you know why they did it, and you can appreciate it because it's like this game is like fast, needs quick reaction times. We're not gonna make you like pick up every piece of the barbed wire and wrap it around real nice and neat.
Yeah.
Just do it. And I really appreciate that, and that permeated in everything. Like you can see on the screen right now when you plant the bomb, you just go boop 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 done, and then you can blow it up.
From Vegas 2, from what I've seen, like they just took the mechanics and just elevated them into more interesting and developed ways. And I was actually really impressed on how much they captured the mechanics and just improved on them.
In a multiplayer game, no less, because Vegas was predominantly a single-player game, right?
No, there was multiplayer.
There was,
in Vegas
okay.
2.
Well, no, there was multiplayer and Terrorist Hunt and all those other game types in it
Yeah.
too.
Alrighty, but yeah, like they improved them definitely, and they made a game so reliant on those tactics to succeed, and it's very nice to see that.
I would say the only highlight of Vegas and Vegas 2 over Siege for Terrorist Hunt is like with Terrorist Hunt, if you had an Xbox 360 webcam or the like.
Sorry,
Kinect
Scott,
sensor.
your audio is getting really messed up.
Okay, I can say your point for you if you want.
Yeah, Scott, if you want to
Yeah.
turn your stuff on or off.
So, if you had a webcam, you're able to take a picture of your face, or of like anything, really, and it would put your face on the actual character model.
Really,
And it looked very silly
I'd imagine.
and
Yep.
never quite right, but it was a fun feature that people liked.
That's pretty cool. Oh, we have some audio and visual. Oh my goodness. I mean, you're frozen, but you've got podcast on your shirt. That's all that matters.
And I mean, maybe they'll patch it in as DLC.
His podcast shirt,
No, like
Yeah.
the face.
the DLC package. You.
Oh.
You're able to just put you in the game. So,
Yeah, it's-
with the characters being specific people, that might not work.
Well, you just have to make your own character.
Exactly, where you get to
you
choose
could,
your
you
own
could
loadout.
use you could probably just use the recruit base model or whatever.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so I think that's our general consensus on the gameplay. We liked it. There's like room for improvement, but we liked it. So I think we can move on to our last topic of discussion, which is the community, and I forget what my bumper for this one was, so I'll just go boop 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 boop. Community.
What was your bumper for community? It was
I
stupid.
can't. It was. I think it was Pokemon.
It was
I'm sure it was stupid because
No,
I picked
Pokemon
it.
was gameplay.
Oh yeah. Oh, it was Need a Light. That's what it was.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's stupid.
Thanks, Taylor. So the community. What this topic is about is the online community, whether their content creation behind it, in game and out of game. So Taylor, Taylor, Scott, seeing as you're our only major contributor to this, have you interacted with the community in this game outside of the game?
Like like through like via like Reddit
subreddit
or whatever.
or
No.
forums or just you watching it on YouTube.
Well, I mean, I've watched it on YouTube. I guess that would be the. I mean, I don't know. Like, I didn't really interact at all. I just kind of like sat there and watched the
You
video.
just
But
consumed it.
that's pretty much what got me interested in the game was watching the video. Like I
Same-
saw
same as
how
up here.
much fun it was, and then I was like, it's definitely worth buying. So
Yeah, seeing all the tactics and strategy of in a first-person shooter like that was what, like in a stream, was what got me interested in the game. So-
Does this game have split screen?
I honestly don't think so.
Nope.
That's unfortunate.
Not from what
that
I-
would be all the community I needed, but damn shame.
So moving away from the online community, what about in-game? Have you noticed that are the people that play this game mostly like decent human beings? Do they play the game really well, or are they
Or
just
children
kids?
that sing Linkin Park.
Yeah.
All right. So I have a few different experiences. Like I was
Story
saying
time.
that, yeah. So I've gone into games with Terrorist Hunt and somebody would just waste everybody immediately, or they would just immediately kill somebody on your team intentionally.
So what you would do in
And then
Call of
they'd-
Duty?
Well, yeah. But you respawned in Call of Duty. You don't
Not in some
respawn.
modes.
Well, I guess.
But beyond those types of
But
people.
I also have had like positive like experiences, like I was saying, that mission when that match makes you actually like I had to try it a few times to get a decent group of people, but like I had like one or two other people that had a mic in and that we were talking, and like I was like it was just me and another guy alive. The other guy alive didn't have a mic in, so like the people that were dead were kind of like helping me
yeah,
like see where the enemies are kind of.
yeah, kind of spotting.
And
for
they
you.
were like tagging them for me because they were like taking the cameras and they were tagging them, and like they were giving me strategies like where to hide in the room and stuff like that.
That's
And, like,
awesome.
it was nice.
like those
So like
types of
it's-
experiences.
it's hit and miss.
Yeah, unfortunately with most communities, but yeah, those experiences when everyone's like being helpful and strategic, strategizing together, like that's what makes these team games so much fun.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why I love playing Heroes with a group of people as opposed to solo, because
Scott.
because you can
Huh?
like you can just rely on the people when you're in a group to not just be dickbags. And if they are going to be dickbags, it's usually in a lighthearted, joking way that won't last very long.
Or you can tell them on Skype to shut the fuck up.
Or you could just drop them from the call, like so. Boop. Make
Guys,
fun of my
guys,
bumpers.
am I still here? Guys, did you hang up? Guys?
That's revenge for my bumpers. But yeah, I don't know what else to say about the community. I'm not terribly involved in it. I'm sorry, but it doesn't sound like Scott is either.
You only posted on their subreddit.
I
so you
only
get
posted on the
views.
subreddit and maybe one of
Yeah,
you checked it out. I really
like
don't
I
know.
said, I've just watched some videos and I've had some in-game, but most of the time I'm playing with people, so that's why.
Yeah. Alrighty.
If only we all could play it together and then do a let's play of it.
If
Post it on
only,
Usenet.
if only that was a potential.
Only the two of you had an Xbox One.
Or you
Yeah,
had
fun
it on
fact,
PC.
that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm not getting an Xbox One. Alrighty.
I'm aware.
So, was there anything else you wanted to mention about this game before we conclude?
Do the NPCs say hilariously great things?
I haven't noticed a lot of like comical lines, mostly just like trying to like
Wall breached. We got an enemy over
strategize.
here.
Yeah, stuff like that. They're also very smart. The AI actually.
That's good. That's good to know.
Yeah, like in comparison to a lot of games, they don't just like stand there. Like if you shoot at them but don't kill them, or like they hear where you're shooting at them, they'll like move positions and they'll try and flank you and like.
Yeah.
Actually,
And they will blow up the wall. They will blow up the wall you're standing behind and knock you to smithereens. So
that's pretty cool.
you always have to be really aware
of the game.
Yeah, they actually do. Like they repel and they do everything.
Sorry, as we were talking, you reminded me of one of my favorite things about this game, which is the sound design and the environmental design. My two favorite examples of that being, you can hear people like moving around.
Oh yeah.
If they're upstairs, you will actually hear them like walking along the floorboards.
Sit rep bro.
It's fucking awesome. It's exactly like the Call of Duty stuff.
Astro
like
A40s.
Just focused in so much more. And then the environmental design was, I was saving a hostage in one of the single player training missions, and one of them threw a flashbang, but I turned away from it, and I didn't see where the blast had come from. So when I turned back around, I saw papers and dust floating in the air where the grenade had gone off, which told me more or less the direction of where the thrower was. So I ran over there and shot him, and just like even when people are, again, using the example of people walking above you, you can actually see dust falling from the ceiling if people are walking above you. It's just so, there's so many environmental things that you can pay attention to be a really good player in this game. Oh, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it is. I enjoy it.
Yeah, it seems like a cool game. A couple problems, but I feel like...
Well, yeah, every game has problems.
Yeah. But, yeah, I feel like this game is going to be around for a while. The latest update isn't the only one that they have planned. I believe there's going to be more. No,
there's 6 more operators that are going to come out as, like, they're doing 2 per season.
Which is awesome. I love it when developers support their game well past the release date. And also, I believe there's been some more and more clamor for esports of this game as well, which is super nice.
Well, yeah, there was just like a tournament thing going on recently for it, I think.
Yeah, so things like that really help, just keep a game in the public eye and make people want to play it and keep talking about it, which is just super awesome. Okay, I think that pretty much wraps us up on our discussion of Rainbow Six Siege. So, yeah, thanks for listening, guys. This has been Press A to Podcast. We do this show proper every other week on a different gaming topic. Next week, I believe, I'm just telling these guys right now, we're probably going to do the episode on Duelist, a new card/turn-based strategy game. So that'll be in 2 weeks from now, unless there's a catastrophic failure in our scheduling. We also stream every week, usually on Thursdays, but also at other days in between. And you can find that on this Twitch channel, which is press_A_2_podcast. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, you can either leave them wherever you're watching this, or you can email them to us at pressapodcast@gmail.com. This isn't the only thing we do. We also, the other guys on this show also do some of their own things. Taylor, do you have anything to announce?
My 2 favorite quotes from Vegas 6, Jesus. Vegas 2 from the terrorists would be, "Shit, these guys are good," and "Fuck you, he was my friend."
Cool.
I'll always just yell those at people.
Scott, do you have anything to announce?
I mean, not currently. I'm still
You're making a liar out of me.
So no, but I mean, like I plan on either streaming stuff and uploading stuff on the internet. I just bought myself a capture card, so I gotta get that all set up. And then I will probably have some stuff coming out.
There will be things
in the near future.
Are you even able to stream with your internet?
Yeah, I can. I've streamed.
He has video now. I don't know how it happened, but
it's just Skype for some reason.
So our other member, you can find him at xblackhawk19x. We know it's the worst streaming name ever, but you can find him there. He streams random games, and he'd love to have you. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a good evening, and that's about it. So I'll end it with our usual have fun and good luck.